My dear friend, I want to begin today's conversation with a moment of silence. Just try to pause for 3 seconds and ask yourself one question. When was the last time you touched your wife's hand without expecting anything to follow that touch? If you have to think too long to answer, then perhaps this video was made for you. I am a woman, and I have spent nearly my entire career listening to the cracks inside the souls of grown men. Men who look sturdy on the outside, successful, in full command of their lives, but who on the inside are curled up like an abandoned child inside their own bedroom. Today, I am not going to offer you sweet words of comfort. I am going to tell you a truth, and that truth might make you uncomfortable. But if you have the courage to sit still and listen to the very end, I believe you will be able to change something before it is too late. The topic today is one that most men avoid, right up until the moment it explodes, right in the middle of their own bedroom. And that topic is the sexless marriage. You are thinking that the lack of sex is what is killing your marriage, are you not? You are wrong. Let me tell you straight. Wrong at the very root. The lack of sex is not what is killing your marriage. It is your silent withdrawal, your punishment through cold shoulder indifference after every rejection that is the real poison. You are strangling your own marriage with your own 2 hands, and then turning around to blame the woman lying next to you. Let me tell you a story. A man, 60 years old, he married the woman he had been dating for 13 years. But right at the moment he stepped across the threshold of marriage, his wife also stepped into menopause. Her body was like a car driving down the highway that suddenly slams on the brakes. Estrogen plummeted. Desire vanished. Pain replaced pleasure. And do you know what he did? He chose to freeze his own heart. For 7 long years. No hand-holding. Not one, "I love you." Not a single emotionally meaningful touch. He turned himself into a ghost inside his own home. And he thought that was how he would punish his wife for not servicing him. Do you see a piece of yourself somewhere in this story? If you do, please sit up straight and keep listening to me, because I do not want you to be the next man to repeat that miserable script. Now, I want you to understand the first and most important thing. Your behavior is a language. And what you are saying to your wife through that language, trust me, is more cruel than any curse word you could ever throw at her. In psychology, we have a concept called the immature lover. And one of the most common versions I see among middle-aged men is what we call the detached lover. Who is the detached lover? He is the man who, when he does not get what he wants in the bedroom, immediately severs every connection outside the bedroom. He stops asking his wife what she wants for dinner. He stops giving her morning hugs. He even stops helping her carry the heavy grocery bags from the car into the house. He withdraws across the board, and he calls that self-respect. I have to tell you this clearly. That is not self-respect. That is punishment. You are using silence as a sharp weapon to torment the very woman you once swore to protect for the rest of your life. And did you know, prolonged silence, what we call stonewalling, is one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse that predicts marital breakdown with over 90% accuracy, according to the research of Dr. John Gottman, one of the most respected marriage researchers in the world. 90%. Do you hear me clearly? That is not a prediction. That is almost a sentence already handed down. I want you to picture your marriage as a safe. You are so obsessed with the gold inside the safe, and the gold here represents sex. When you cannot get to the gold, instead of learning how to unlock it, instead of searching for another key, you leave the safe out in the rain and the sun. You let it rust. You let it fade. You let the lock corrode so badly that no key on earth could ever open it again. And then when you come back, standing before that rusted safe, you weep about how fate has been so unfair to you. Are you hearing me clearly? Every positive action you take for the relationship during the daytime, that is foreplay. A caring question, a gentle glance, an act of sharing the housework, that is foreplay. If you stop the foreplay all day long, all week long, all month long, please never expect a symphony at night. A woman's body is not a machine with an on-off switch, and her heart certainly is not either. The second I want you to face, and this is the point that many men have avoided their entire lives. Menopause is not a weapon your wife is using against you. It is a biological event. An earthquake inside a woman's body. I have listened to countless husbands tell me in wounded tones, she is using sex to control me, or she is rejecting me because she wants to flex her power. My dear friend, you are so trapped inside your own bruised ego that you have forgotten the biological reality unfolding right in front of your eyes. Women going through perimenopause and menopause are not simply not in the mood. They are living through a full-scale crisis. Falling estrogen levels cause vaginal dryness, and that means every act of intercourse can be a truly painful experience for her. Not mild discomfort, real pain, burning, the feeling that her own body is betraying her. On top of that come the midnight hot flashes, the endless waves of insomnia, the mood swings that can flip her from laughing to crying in a matter of minutes. She is not rejecting you. She is losing control over her own body. And while she is fighting off a brutal hormonal storm like that, what are you doing? You are like a soldier who has abandoned his comrade in the middle of the battlefield. Your comrade is critically wounded, bleeding, screaming in pain, and you are pulling your troops back to your own corner, sitting there sulking that she can no longer keep fighting by your side. Do you see how absurd that is? A 60-year-old man competing with his own wife's physical suffering. You are demanding that she serve you while she is wounded. That is not love. That is coldness disguised in the costume of a neglected husband. The third point, and nearly every man falls into this one, it is the trap of mind reading. She should just know what I need. How many times have you thought that in your head? How many times have you lain next to your wife, turned your back on her, and screamed that sentence inside your own mind? Let me say it straight. This is the most naive statement I have ever heard from grown men. Hollywood, novels, and movies have injected into your brain the illusion that if it is true love, two people will just understand each other without saying a word. That is a lie. A lie that has killed millions of marriages. The truth is that no one on this earth has the ability to read your mind. Not even the wife who has slept in the same bed with you for 30 years. Sitting in silence and waiting for her to figure it out only makes the distance between the two of you grow wider, like a crack on the ground after an earthquake. At first, it is just a tiny fissure. Then it widens some more, until no bridge on earth can span across it anymore. You need to relearn how to communicate. And I want you to notice a subtle, but very powerful linguistic detail. Instead of using the word need, use the word want. Need is a heavy word. It carries pressure. It carries obligation. When you say, I need you, she hears pressure. But want is a choice, a longing, a form of vulnerability. When you say, I want to be close to you, she hears a heart opening up. Do you see the difference now? And speak honestly about your sadness. Speak honestly about your loneliness. Men are so terrified of admitting they are lonely that they would rather turn their loneliness into anger than speak it straight to their life partner. But anger has never invited closeness. Only vulnerability can do that. Now, I am going to tell you something you may not want to hear. Please brace yourself, because this is the real shock of today's video. You have been complaining that you are the victim, that you are the one abandoned in a sexless marriage, that your wife is the one who closed the door first. But the bitter truth I have to tell you today is this. You are the one who has been rejecting your wife the most. Did you hear what I just said clearly? You are the one doing the rejecting, not her. She has only said no to a physical act because of very real physical pain, because of very real biological disruptions. But you, through your coldness, through your emotional withdrawal, through the way you turn your back when she is talking to you, through the way you eat dinner in silence and quietly slip off to bed, you are saying no to her entire being. You are rejecting the connection. You are rejecting the safety. You are rejecting the shared future the two of you have, all just to feed that tiny bleeding ego locked inside your chest. You are getting emotionally divorced, even while the two of you are still sharing the same bed. And I need you to hear this one more time, very clearly. You are the one killing this marriage with your own pettiness. Not her, not menopause, not circumstances. You I know that hurts, but if you do not face this truth today, then 10 years from now, when you are sitting there staring at her memorial photograph or sitting there signing the divorce papers, you will understand that I was right. And by then, it will be far too late. So what do we do now? I want to talk to you about something that very few men truly understand, and that is self-worth and inner peace. A grown man does not define his value based on the number of times he has sex in a week. If your self-respect is so fragile that it can collapse just because your wife is going through a difficult health season, then the problem is not your marriage. The problem is you. It is the internal structure of your own psyche. It is the way you were taught to be a man from the time you were a boy. It is the old wounds that have never been healed, the ones you carry into the bedroom every single night. Where does true peace come from? It comes from knowing that you showed up fully, that you loved unconditionally, that you were there, next to your woman, even in her hardest season, even when you received nothing in return. That, right there, is the true backbone of a man, not muscles, not money, not the number of conquests, but the ability to stand firmly beside a woman who is breaking apart and tell her, I am still here. I am not going anywhere. Imagine 10 years from now in your own life. What do you want it to look like? Two people sitting in the same room, same television on, same couch, but each scrolling on their own phone, with an invisible wall between them as thick as reinforced concrete. Or do you want the two of you to be able to hold hands and take a walk every evening, to hold each other while sleeping without any need for sex, to be able to quietly brew a cup of tea together and understand each other through a single glance? You have the right to choose. Today, right now, you have the right to choose. Choose a new way of connecting, through touches with no agenda behind them, through deep listening, not to respond, but to understand, through real empathy for what she is going through. A sexless marriage might just be a temporary season, but a loveless marriage, and I repeat, a loveless marriage is a death sentence being carried out slowly, a little bit each day, until both people die side by side. Which one are you choosing? I know today's topic is hard to hear. I know you might be feeling uncomfortable right now, maybe even angry at me. But my dear friend, silence is the greatest enemy. And the person who can heal you is not me, not some expert out there, not some book. That person is you. The moment you dare to stop blaming and start looking honestly at yourself. If you recognize even a small piece of yourself in today's story, I invite you to leave a comment below. Have you ever used silence to punish your wife just because your needs were not met? Or have you found a way to walk with your wife through the stormy season of menopause? Your real story, even a short one, could be the lifeline for another man who is drowning in quiet desperation somewhere out there. And before I close today's conversation, I want to leave you with one question. I do not want you to answer me. I want you to answer yourself in the late night silence, when the whole house has gone still and there is nothing left but you and your own conscience. If tomorrow you lost that woman forever, would you regret not having had more sex with her, or would you regret spending the final years of her life treating her like a stranger inside your own home?